we first moved to the USA, all the way from Canada. And we drove across the continent, from Nova Scotia to Pasadena. My sister and me and my mom and dad, from the cold to the sunny south. There were palm trees growing and it was not snowing, and I never did shut my mouth. Well, we drove on over to the courthouse in downtown Los Angeles. Put our hands on a Bible and we swore as a family that we were not communists. When we drove away, I started to cry. They said, "What's wrong, son? Are you sick?" I said, "I don't want to be an American. I want to be a Catholic." We talked Hollywood and baseball in the car. The voice of Vin Scully, it would travel really far. We would listen to Vin Scully call Dodger games, picking weeds in the backyard, and this is what Vin Scully sounded like to me. Coming up in the top of the ninth inning at Chavez Ravine, there's an eerie spider-web shadow. Sandy Koufax walks out to the hill and he's up to his hips in alligators. I go, "Up to his hips in alligators? They have alligators on the field, Dad?" Well, I made my first communion in St. Rita's Catholic Church. There was incense choking and a priest was smoking. There was a choir up in the perch. My face got red and my stomach felt bad. They said, "If you're gonna get sick, use a cup." Well, I thought by the time it was my turn for communion, Jesus would be all eaten up. We talked Hollywood and baseball in the car. The voice of Jack Buck, man, it would travel really far. Jack Buck was the voice of the St. Louis Cardinals. He's passed away, but this is what his voice sounded like. It sounded like he took his vocal cords out at night and soaked them in whiskey and cigarettes. This is what he sounded like.
Coming up in the bottom of the ninth inning, Mark McGwire going after the home run record in a dead heat race with Sammy Sosa, chasing after the home run record set by Roger Maris of 61 home runs when he beat Babe Ruth for the home run record in 1961. I don't believe what I just saw.
It hurts to do that. I have you know I'm suffering from my art. Well, my allergies were bad, so we moved to the desert to a city called Palm Springs. We trick-or-treated at Liberace's house. Each finger had a diamond ring. We met Elvis Presley in the middle of the summer, and he hugged my sister for far too long. Well, I felt kind of weird, but I would have pimped her out just to hear him sing a song. We talked Hollywood and baseball in the car. The voice of Harry Carey, oh man, it would travel really far. Harry Carey, what? He was the voice of the Chicago Cubs. He's dead too. He had a great voice. But guess what? He was the only announcer I know that got sent away. He used to be the announcer for the St. Louis Cardinals, but he did what you should never do when you're an announcer to a baseball team. He slept with Augie Bush's wife. Augie Bush owned the St. Louis Cardinals and he owned Budweiser beer. So they unceremoniously sent him to Chicago. And when he would call the games, he could never pronounce the players of the Dominican Republic. So say if Davy Concepcion was coming up, this is what Harry Carey would sound like.
Come up with top line little winkling out there, Wrigley Field. Dino Concepcion legally. Holy cow.
But that's all true in the last verse about Elvis Presley picking me up in the air, so If I meet you tonight and we shake hands due to the Debt Transfer Act of 1969, it'll be like you also shook hands with Elvis. Now here I am, a growing up boy, at home on the 1st of July, staring out at the ocean and the fireworks in the sky. I miss my friends who aren't around, the ones who passed away. Oh well, I'm feeling kinda grateful here on Canada Day. We talk Hollywood and baseball in the car. The voice of Tom Cheek. Tom Cheek, he passed away too, but he was the voice of the Toronto Blue Jays. And if you recall, he was calling the game in 1993 when the Blue Jays were trying to repeat as World Series champions. They were playing, if I recall, the Philadelphia Phillies. Who was on the hill for the Phillies? Let me think about it. Mitch, the Wild Thing Williams. Who was up to bat for the Toronto Blue Jays? Joe Carter! So, Joe Carter comes up to bat. Tom Cheek's calling the game, and Tom Cheek goes like this. Joe is having trouble trying to lay out that pitch low to the outside part of the plate, and he just went after one. So he's giving his own player, Joe Carter, crap. Then Joe Carter does the unspeakable. He hits a walk-off home run to win the World Series. And as Joe Carter's foot touches second base, Tom Cheek says what you could have never planned. He says,
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
it was one of the most amazing things. And my dad ran out into the front yard, and he was naked because he forgot to put his clothes on. He had a Canadian flag, and we were living in Palm Springs, and the cops showed up and handcuffed him. We were like our own episode of Cops. I have never been so proud of my dad. But I think this is just exactly what Tom Cheek's voice sounded like, if I recall.
Joe has had his moments, trying to lay off that ball low to the outside part of the plate, and he just went after one. 2 balls and 2 strikes on it. Here's the pitch on the way, a swing and a belt, left field, way back, Blue Jays win! The Blue Jays are World Series champions! As Joe Carter hits a 3-run home run in the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays have repeated as World Series champions. Touch 'em all, Joe! You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life!
We talk Hollywood, baseball in the car. The voice of Tom Cheek, it would travel really far. I get allergies and asthma in the yard. And no one ever told me growing up would be so hard.